Marie? Hello? Hello, Viv? Hello, Joe? And Chris? Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, Viv.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Joe. Hi, Joyce.
Hi.
Hi, Joe.
Oh,
Hello. How are you?
admit.
Is my voice coming through this time?
I can see you and hear you, Viv.
Oh, beautiful.
Your
Don't say funny. I
sweater's
don't get the
blue,
right
your
buttons.
glasses are black framed, and we're watching an RCA.
Yes,
film.
and I look, I comb my hair especially.
I know, I washed my hair.
Oh, did you?
Hello, ladies.
Hey,
Hi,
Lily.
Lily. How are you?
Good.
Everyone seems to be in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so
I can still only see you, Joyce. I can only see one person at a time for some reason.
Oh, okay. You can change that. If you go into the
Yeah.
upper right-hand corner and hover your mouse over there, it will pop
Upper
up
right. Yeah.
speaker view or gallery view. And if you click on that, it will change it. So you can either get...
Actually, it doesn't. It just, all it's got is mute, stop video, share content, participants or more.
Is that you, Russell?
Yes.
The kookaburra ate the food.
I am so glad
The
this...
kookaburra ate the dog
I can
food.
now send this to my mom. Sorry, Mom, we had to stop a meeting because a kookaburra was eating the food.
We've got 2 kookaburras here, and I put the dog food out for the dogs, and the kookaburras have eaten the dog food.
Oh, they're horrible.
Oh, no.
They're like bugs. They're worse than magpies.
Oh, the magpies eat the dog food too, so the dogs are lucky to get anything. Only in
Lucky
Australia.
Looking and admit. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Hello, Gary.
Hello.
I
Where's
love your
Kristen?
vest, Carrie. You work that whole look very well. It's impressive.
What's the...
The vest. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On a vest, I look like
Hello,
Yeah, I-
Pauline.
hippie or
No,
something.
it wears me. I haven't had it off for a few days. It smells.
Okay, so we have Marie. Marie, are you there on audio? Marie? Hey, Marie? We don't have Marie. Chris, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, but I don't know why you can't see me,
Because
because it has been working.
I know, and that's weird. The only advice I can give is if you look at the bottom left hand of your screen and hover your mouse over it, and it'll show the little, like, an old
Video.
Charlie Chaplin camera. You click on that, might make the video work. Outside of that, I don't know. I've had this conversation several times with people, and I'm on a Mac. Other people are on, like, you know, a regular PC. That's it. That's the end of my advice. Who are we missing?
Oops.
Come on. Go ahead.
Lindley.
Lindley, where'd she go? Oh no, Lindley's gone to the Bahamas. We're damned.
Oh, my camera's on now.
How did she get out of the country? Okay.
I'm in a meeting. Come
And I haven't muted anybody, even though the temptation is there, but I won't.
Yeah, do
Put the extra lights on. Just kidding. Sorry.
Joyce, I don't have anything now.
But we can hear you, Chris.
Oh, that's a start.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey there. I'm Bolt.
And then Lynn, excuse me one moment, ladies. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, we'll do it.
What do you want?
Oh, I'm just I've got myself into trouble now.
So what I figured out on Fridays,
I can see you, Pauline.
on Friday for finance and fundraising, I wasn't able to figure out how to get it from Zoom, this website, to get the transcript, but then I uploaded it to a YouTube video and it gives you subtitles, closed captions. So
Right, okay.
that was basically the transcript. So that's something, Chris, which, you know, could be helpful.
Joyce, I might get out of this tab, go back and click the link again.
Okay, that's fine. And I'm going to call Lindley if I can help. Just give me 1 minute, you guys.
Will do. Thank you.
Say again? Okay.
Yeah, it's working. It's just a bit slow. Launch meeting.
Oh, okay. I see you just now. Hold on.
Can
There you go. And Chris
you
is
see
now
me or
back
not?
as well.
Okay,
No,
She lost the video and she wants. Oh no, she's back.
but you can hear me, so that's nice.
Yeah, I can hear you, Chris. Okay. So are you? I think you're in now, Lindley. I've been. I know. Well, that's the thing that no one appreciates is that with Zoom, it's like quite a lag. It can be like 2 minutes, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but none of us have great attention spans, and 2 minutes is actually a really good amount of time. Yay! Okay.
There we go.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. So, Chris, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, and it's saying download and run Zoom. Please click here. Hang on, if nothing happens, click here to launch. It's launching.
Okay.
Okay. Join a meeting. So, can you click me in now? Or shall I sign in?
There's.
I'll just go. I'll just go join a meeting. See what happens.
Yeah. Try that.
It'll launch. It will launch to the meeting.
Exactly. Because you're currently listed in the meeting participants, but not on a video basis.
Mm. I could see you all a minute ago and hear you.
So, Chris, could you do me a favor? If I remove you from the meeting, could you re-click on that link and then try it all over again? Because that's what every IT guy tells us to do. Just start over, you know, restart the computer.
Okay, so I'll get out of my tab as well. Okay.
Is that okay?
Well, I can click on now. Yep.
No. So I'm going to remove you from the meeting. And this isn't really a personal statement at all. But
Well, I thought I thought you'd already done that.
no, I'll do it right now. I'll stop talking, which has never happened in the history.
And I've got launch meeting up again.
Okay, so remove. Remove. And now we have hit the end of my tech ability, which I think everybody overestimated anyway. Remove. Nope.
Just hold on. I'm just opening it now.
Okay.
And it says launching. Click here to launch the meeting.
Oh. Okay. Now she's been removed. Okay. I'll look at my phone. Chris. I still think we can do this. If the United States, like House of Representatives, can meet, and there's, well over 300 of them, and they can do this, then, and believe me, they're dim. I think we're much cleverer than they are. So I think we can manage this.
Your country's doomed.
Don't you bank on it.
There.
No.
Joe.
I know. Who wants a bleach martini? Jesus.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Can we not just proceed with audio?
I'm sorry. I didn't hear who said
No?
that.
I just said, Pauline, I just said, can we not just proceed with audio?
Yeah, we can. But now Chris is off, and I just want to help her get back on.
Okay, all right.
There's inevitable teething pains. Hi there. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm going to re-invite you. Hold on. Yes. Thank you for being patient. I'm learning as we go as well. Let's see. Now, if I send it to you, I'll send it to you as a text message. Is that okay? Because that's faster than email. Is that an email? Okay. Well, yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Excuse me. No, it's not showing you there. So let me send it to you as an email, if you don't mind. And it'll work that way. I think. I mean, I'm still learning about all of this. Let's see. Hold on.
Stop yawning, Viv.
Come on, Chris. Somebody say something. What's the matter
Sorry.
with people?
Hey, I'm just watching 6 magpies and 2 kookaburras trying to eat the dog food.
Okay, I've sent it just now. So let's see how we go. And it's still, oh yes, I forgot to tell everybody. Yes, you can set it to record. So the entire meeting's being recorded. I recorded the FNF meeting on Friday and forgot because I started 15 minutes early. And so the beginning of the video shows me putting on my lipstick and like tidying up behind and all of that sort of thing. Because there's now a whole new like world of business set up about staging the background of your house so that it looks nice for video. Exactly. So just tell me when you get that email, Chris, if you don't mind. Sorry, I'm talking 2 ways now. Yeah, and I didn't know that that's what, yeah, I've never removed somebody from a meeting. But I have people that I would like to just in the future, but not in Zonta. Everybody just, you're learning, I'm learning. Frankly, my dog Lola could probably figure this out faster than I have.
Okay, you're doing it. None of us have volunteered to take over, so thank you so much for persisting. Well, that's the truth.
Nevertheless, she persisted.
Hey.
There's a famous bad line from one of our horrible right-wing senators in the States. It's still not showing up. I'm going to send it as a text message, Chris, because it'll do the same thing, but it would be on your phone, not on your computer. Would you be comfortable?
Joyce, do you need the ID and stuff?
Yeah,
to
but
sign in.
No, that's a good question, Marie, but that's actually in the invitation. You copy the website address and all of that information is in. And I figured out how to show that the phone numbers are Australian phone numbers because it's an American-based app.
Okay.
And so before, the phone numbers for dialing in were like, if you're in San Jose, California, which is Silicon Valley, or New York or Chicago, which is charming, but it's really helpful. Yes. 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 Yeah. 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 Then it should show you. Yeah. Please. Oh, for crying out loud. Well, I've never removed any from a meeting. I've never even muted anybody, even though I was tempted. Can you look in your email for the new link? Because it's a, okay. Sorry, guys. Everyone just be comfortable, knit a bathtub.
I'll get a glass of wine.
I've got the wine.
I'm going to get a glass of wine.
Okay, because it is actually being recorded. Oh, okay. All right, so Chris has asked us to carry on. Sorry about that, you guys. Like I said, it's a learning process, lifelong learning. So what time are we? Yeah, okay, 5:21. That's an improvement over the last one because that one started at about 30 minutes after the original start time. So, meeting open, item number 2, any declaration of interest, conflict of interest?
No,
No.
no.
No,
Lovely. Approval of minutes from the previous meeting? May I have
So
someone
moved.
move?
Pauline.
Pauline,
Yes,
seconded by,
and I'll second.
thank you.
Yeah.
In terms of correspondence, there has been almost none. And I know you're shocked, but I haven't drawn it up. And I will. I've been reorganizing coverage. The main bits being that the conference, international convention has been canceled. So Chicago in July, which to be totally honest is probably a good thing because Chicago in July is awful. It's like 45 degrees. So yeah, bye. Okay, I'm still looking out for Chris and I'm not seeing her. I might need to ask one of you to call Chris and let her listen from your phone. Would someone volunteer to do that? Because I
I
don't.
haven't got my
Okay.
phone here. Oh,
yeah, I can't because I'm on my phone.
Okay. Wow.
Chris.
You're down with the kids. Well done.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
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 Who may I ask to call Chris? Thank you.
I'm doing it.
Who's doing it?
Okay.
Hi, Chris. This is sitting next to the computer so that you can listen in.
Okay, thank you.
Can you
Awesome.
all hear her?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, for what it's worth, this is again a little bit of learning. I didn't know that if you clicked remove someone, it's not like turning your Bluetooth off. It apparently has removed you forever. So yeah, it's not Sex in the City. You're not a bad ex-boyfriend. So I don't know why that's happened. So I've learned something for what it's worth. Okay, so Chris,
Can you hear Chris?
we've covered
Yeah, I can.
point 2,
Thank you.
declaration of interest. We've approved the meetings. The correspondence will once again be coming from me. There has not been much. The main point that I made was about the cancellation of the International Biennial Convention in Chicago. And the correspondence involved in that is about our vote. And so there is not even a question of another club taking our proxy. Everything, all the voting will be done online. the International Board, and this is an important point. Judy Gorton is one of the candidates. Oh, feedback. There's nothing worse than hearing your own voice. Judy Gorton from Perth Club is one of the candidates for the International Board. So that is something of importance, but there's still plenty of time for the vote. So I will send out more information about that. It's been a bit patchy. I'm going to carry on to my comments. Member renewals, Lindley, apparently the last update was 12 member renewals. Is that still the case?
Bloody hell. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, can you say that again,
Can you
please?
hear? My internet is dropping out.
I can hear you, Lindley.
Can you?
Gotcha.
Yes.
It keeps saying it's unstable and it keeps dropping out. We have 14 members paid up.
14 of 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have people indicated that they won't be renewing or won't pay?
No, I'll send out an email today asking them to either pay or let me know why not.
Good.
Okay.
Actually, I don't think I've paid. I need to do that myself. So call that 13. And unfortunately, my next point is I had a phone call from one of our members, Sharon House, suggesting that we mothball all activities for 12 months. To which I said, my first reaction is that's not a good idea. We have commitments, we're part of the community. The community is managing to go on, therefore we need to manage to go on. But that I would present it to the board and that we actually need to make a suggestion. We need to have a vote amongst ourselves and make a suggestion for what would ostensibly be our May meeting about this. I understand, I've used the practice of taking my cues from everybody in reaction to this coronavirus business. So I'm not going to dismiss this as overreacting or anything like that. But it needs to be presented and we need to discuss it and come up with a recommendation for the club, because there might be other, to my knowledge, there's also another member who has the same idea. I was told this by Sue Flower, and I'm not interested in name games, but we need to have this discussion. So I put it to you, and then I believe we should have a vote on it to make a recommendation.
So the reality is, little by little, we will be directed by government and health authorities. And life isn't stopping. We just plan our way forward until such time as some of that social interaction is lifted. So we can still plan. We can still be meaningful contributors to our community. And if it's not through the opportunity to come together for fundraising events or fellowship, there's lots of community managed and run programs at the moment that Zonta members could become part of to support people who are adversely affected by the coronavirus. Life isn't this is the future.
But what if we have the funds coming in?
Sorry, Joe, go ahead. I couldn't hear. Start again.
But what if the funds are not coming in to actually do all the things that we want to do? Because if we have to cancel, say, the Melbourne Cup because we can't plan it now, what will happen to all our, liabilities with regards to what monies we have to give to people?
Can I speak?
Please.
Yep.
I've just downloaded the application form for the lotteries grant.
Yeah.
It's 20 pages long. Can you guys see me or hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
both.
Hey, I can see you and hear you.
Me
Oh,
too.
can you? I can't see a thing. I've got Zoom written in front of me.
Oh, that's okay. We can.
I
As
know.
long
I
as you can hear
maybe
me.
by next week,
Yeah,
we'll come to your house and make it work. It's driving me crazy.
my internet is very shaky and it won't give me any pictures. I've downloaded the application form. It's 20 pages long, but I'm sure we'll be able to get the money for the bridge day.
Yeah.
That's about it. So we'd get $3,500 to carry on with.
Yeah.
So
And by the
Lindley,
end of the
Yeah.
week,
I just think it's way too early to make a decision. You know, it's only yesterday that we were allowed to have 2 people, and today we're allowed to have 10. So it's changing so quickly that it's too early to say no to everything. I think in about a month's time we'll all be out there. We might even be able to go to the cafes for coffees and have lunches somewhere. So it's way too early.
and you're still going to have to pay dues to international.
Wait, one at a time. Lindley?
You're still going to have to pay your dues to district and international, and we still need to be members to be a club. So why don't we just continue on and do what we can?
correct. And
Yes.
you plan on the basis that there is the opportunity for outside our control events, but at least it's better to plan and be able to just push the start button when things are lifted.
Yes.
But life does not go on hold. We're living in a first world country, and there are many millions of people that would be totally not even understanding how luxurious our period of COVID ISO's been.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, honestly and truly, we are some of the most blessed people in the world.
Absolutely.
We've done
Very
it in
much.
a beautiful environment, and to just succumb to an opinion that life is finishing and things go on hold is not part of my psyche.
Hi, Joe.
Was the suggestion from this member or members that everybody should suspend all activities, but also they're talking about suspending paying their dues? Is that what's been put forward?
That wasn't specified. It was.
Oh, okay.
It was a very general. It was in an email, very general, without specific.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you.
Oh, it's Marie here. I think it's really good that we're going ahead with planning for the new committee and new president. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
I think it's very difficult to plan for anything else at the moment. Let's remain optimistic. I mean, I can now go and play golf with one person, and I can play tennis with one person.
No. You're allowed to play golf with as a 4 now.
Oh, not at Bustleton, I don't think. But
It should be
anyway.
coming in because Golf Australia have just changed.
Yep.
Only last night it came through.
Okay. So things are changing.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Say again.
Things are changing for the good, and I think it's really good to keep going ahead, and we're really going to be governed by who pays their membership or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel that if we took 12 months off, then you might lose a lot of members
I don't
that
think we
wouldn't
could start.
come back.
Yeah.
So just to sort of keep things going, do what we can, keep the contact going. As Pauline said, still plan for things and see how it comes. I mean, and if people don't feel comfortable through their own health or whatever else to come to meetings and do things, well, then they can, that's up to them to separate themselves.
Yeah. I mean, because I've suggested if it was a financial burden for members to bring it out, what I want to say, stretch it out, let people make extended payments. And no one has taken up that offer. So it's not perfect information, but I can kind of deduce from that it's not the $220. It's the question of what the club will be doing. A big issue is that, for example, the Ignite program isn't happening in term 2, full stop. So we're not funding that until term 3. And that was a question I had for you, Lindley, on Ignite. What is the term-by-term amount that we pay? Because I looked at the balance sheet, but I didn't see it. And Sue Legg asked me that because she's very concerned about it. And I know, of course, it's one of those other things I should know. Take a number.
I think we paid them $2,000 last year.
Per term or per year?
No, not for 2, for the year.
Okay.
So 500 per term on that basis?
That sounds right. It's
Wait,
not
look,
that
bear
much.
with me. I'll just look it up.
Excuse me 1 minute, I have to open the blind. Oh, look, I'm wearing gym jams.
Yeah, $2,000 we paid them.
So it's $500 that we're not expending for terms 1 and 2. So
We
therefore,
don't usually pay by term.
no, I realise that. But if you pro rata $2,000 on the basis that they're only going to be operating for half of their school time, then that's $1,000. But our financial commitment will be here unless you negotiate otherwise.
Under the current terms and conditions of school starting, none of the Ignite students are expected to be coming back to school. So Dee Shade told me we do not need funding for term 2 because it's simply not happening. She has been in the process of calling and actually visiting each member's home.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's not, unfortunately, happening. Which is in and of itself an entire new Zonta project, but for right now, let's focus on what we have.
Yeah, that's right.
So Joyce, in that alone, some of those Ignite members clearly are at risk members of this community.
Yes.
So, and they're probably burdened with some adult responsibilities as young teenagers.
Yeah, definitely.
So is there an opportunity for Zonta service support some of those young people that isn't equal to dollars?
That isn't what?
That isn't about money, it's about the practical support of some of these young people. Is it about us offering to mentor, being a sounding board? Very
yeah. No, yeah, it is. However, the mentoring thing is difficult right now in the current conditions in terms of where to, well, no, not now, because now you can have 10 people meeting. Because
one-on-one.
as Dee Shade pointed out to me in the very beginning, it's not a situation where she's like, I've gone to their house, but I couldn't have any of you guys go to their house.
But could we perhaps
that in and of itself is a bit of
phone contact? Could we meet with these young people outside the home and just provide them with an opportunity to share some of their concerns? Yeah. Or is the school providing that for them? Because Ignite, I'm assuming, plays a really important role in supporting those at-risk teenagers.
Yeah, the school is not. It simply hasn't got, it's not some, fancy pants private school. It hasn't got the funds to do it.
But D-Shade is there and they are students.
Yeah, we definitely could.
So I'm just looking for ways in which we think beyond the dollars and we start focusing on the people and the heart and the community and the kindness.
Yeah.
So is that a conversation?
Most of the students in Ignite could be met where they normally hang out at the skate ramp near where we had our planning day. in Busso.
So therefore, is there an opportunity for some of us to actually go and be part of one of their hangout gatherings?
Yeah.
And just be someone who's prepared to listen to them, or we might choose to give them a hamper of food, or some personal care items, so that you've got that one-on-one. Someone really cares.
I think that's a good idea. We have to clear this through. Oh, excuse me, Joe.
I was going to say, but do you think young people would want us there giving them food in front of their friends?
Oh, no, not in front of their friends. No. So you have a conversation. They find somebody that they have a rapport with. You can then take that into a private context and say, well, I would like to support you in some way. Not so public, Joe, at all. That would be probably compromising, don't you think?
Yeah, it would have to be carefully. It's doable, and I actually think that's a very good idea, and you will make Dee's heart sing.
Well, I just want to care for people, and as mentions, we're extraordinarily privileged individuals, and we're in a time where this is our time to shine. Some kindness and generosity. Yeah.
I'm happy to ask you about that, because I've had a couple of just, sidebar comments with some of the members of Ignite, and there is definitely a little bit of, what do you guys call it? Tall poppy. That's very Australian. Among the Ignite people and the Z Club people. And this would be a nice way to sort of maybe put that to rest. And they'll talk to me because I smoke and I swear like a truck driver. So
it's really important too, because you establish a quick rapport. So you will find out things. Keep smoking. Just chain smoke while you're with them. Tell them they shouldn't do it.
I know. Don't say that.
Well, it's finding a point of commonality.
But I can ask Dee about that. She's very candid, and if it's something that could be done, and if there are other members who are interested in doing it, I think it is something that we can do. Right now, we're a bit hamstrung, funding-wise. So can we do something substantive, something face-to-face? Because now we're allowed to do face-to-face.
And the reality is, if they're not operating in term 2, on a pro rata basis, we're not giving them $2,000 a year. We're going to give them $1,000 or $1,500 a year.
Yeah.
Because we need to adjust our budgets.
Right.
It seems.
Term 2 is not. So 86 term 2 altogether. It's not happening.
Okay.
Because the bulk of these young people will not be in the population of kids coming back to school.
Okay.
For a variety of systemic reasons. Poverty, near poverty, bad household.
Drugs, alcohol. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're the very people who have been most impacted by this home isolation.
Yeah. Just like, just the way that survivors of domestic violence are being impacted by it.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We're in a paradisical bubble. We have those of us that live in where we live.
Nice use of the word paradisical. Wow.
Oh, it's so true. I feel
Scrabble later tonight. Use that word.
You can still go out in your garden. You can still go down and buy your takeaway coffee. You can still go to the beach. You can still so much other people have never, ever been able to entertain.
No. I'm sorry, Carrie, did you want to say something? Were you? All right, so I will contact Dee about that, and I've written it in red pen, so it's quite important. So yeah, the notion of mothballing our activities for 12 months, no.
N-O, capital N, capital O.
Thank you, Pauline, I'm with you.
Absolutely not. You know, I'm your incoming president. If there's a dissenting vote, let me know. But, you know, as a new management and leadership team, this is our opportunity to really just make a difference.
Yeah.
Be proactive. So business hasn't gone into mothballs. I've got a company board meeting on Thursday.
Yeah.
What are we discussing? Strategies to work our way forward.
Yeah.
Strategies to compensate for loss of income.
And frankly,
Strategies to work with tenants who've lost their businesses.
yeah, we've all been in self-isolation for roughly 5 weeks. So we are well rested. We have had lots of naps. So we can actually go set the goddamn world on fire if we want.
You speak for yourself. I've been painting.
I don't believe that from you, Maria, at all. You're a dark horse. I know. Okay. The next item for me is a GoFundMe account.
Yep.
And this has many dependencies, and I'll be very quick. About our chairs. Sorry, I've been stuttering a lot. Menopause sucks.
Statement accepted, heard loud and clear.
Hold on. Charity. Yes. Registration. Our registration as a nonprofit organization. But we could possibly, because I've looked into this before a little bit, I've dabbled and it got confusing, set up a GoFundMe account and promote it on social media, and it's legal. And it's still public funds and still has all of the attendant requirements in terms of fiduciary responsibility. But it is another option, and I've put that on the agenda because we need to start thinking laterally and get really goddamn clever, because we could be losing serious fundraising opportunities. And I don't think any of us, I could be wrong, but I think it's safe to say that probably most of us wouldn't want to not fund our local projects. And we have and believe me, it is ironclad commitment to the district and to Zonta International. So I don't have an answer yet, but I wanted to put it out there that this is, again, the dependencies. But for us as a nonprofit, see, I don't stutter with the word nonprofit. I stutter with the other word.
And nonprofit does not mean don't make a profit.
Yeah.
It just means not business.
Right. Yeah. It just means you manage public money. That's all. It's very simple.
Correct. The more public money you have, the bigger impact you can make in your community.
Yeah. So this can be minuted as me saying, I commit to trying to figure this out within the next 4 weeks. I don't know if I can, because I started before and it got really scary, and I called somebody at the governing body and they didn't answer questions. So I might get like a friend of mine to call them, because I get a bit sarcastic on the phone, so it's not really helpful.
I'll work with you on achieving the registration of community, of charity status.
Yeah.
And the important thing about GoFundMe is that the projects have a reasonably broad appeal.
Exactly.
And so you nominate your project. We might have several GoFundMes, for example.
Right.
If we identified a service project in our local community that we felt, and it might be that there's already programs in existence, because if you follow Dunsborough, Not Buy, Swap and Sell and all the other, there are people, individuals who are wanting to do things, but it needs a coordinated approach.
Right.
So there's other people prepared to do the coordination, perhaps, but if Zonta can become part of that collaboration, then it's not about us per se. It's about people in our community who care. You present it in such a way that other members of the community, they don't have to live here, want to contribute to it.
Right. And it doesn't mean that they want to go to the Bridge Day or the Melbourne Cup. They just want
Not at all.
Money.
They want to give you some money that says, I really support what Zonta's doing in our local community. I don't want to attend those events. because the profit margins on those events are small compared to the price to attend. So I'll give you $50 because that's what I can afford, because I haven't been going out.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to socialise. I'm still getting a fixed income. A lot of people have not been impacted financially by this period of time.
Yeah.
They will have more money than normal because they haven't been able to go out.
No, outgoing.
Those are on fixed
I
income.
agree with that one.
Pardon?
What?
You don't agree? Well, people.
I don't agree either.
Oh, you don't agree, Chris?
No, I don't agree.
Chris is saying she doesn't agree with the GoFundMe.
No. I don't agree that people haven't been impacted financially.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said some people won't have been, some people will be massively impacted. But the reality is there's some people are actually better off because just through government assistance, and they aren't our target market. But the $750 a week is more than some people were earning anyway. They aren't our target market. But people want to contribute to community. And it might be that they give you $5 because that makes them feel good.
Yeah.
And you get 10 people to give you $5 because that makes them feel good.
Right.
It's the collaboration.
Joe.
There is a group that already exists in Dunsborough. I cannot think of the name, but I think you know about it, Joyce, don't you? The Dunsborough Community Care or something?
It's Community Care Dunsborough Yelling Up, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there is, Joe. Yep.
They've been asking for donations, and predominantly they've been in kind, including the setting up of an entire community garden with seedlings, so that there are people have fill in the blank herbs, whatever, coriander, basil, snow peas, Asian greens, that sort of thing. They're still dealing in kind. They're not dealing with actual funds because of the laws.
Yes.
And that sort of idea is doable. In terms of my thinking is, in terms of all of this, that if we can find an alternative source to raise money, because a GoFundMe campaign is global, that's legal and that's allowed, and we would be failing in our duties if we didn't consider other ways of raising funds.
Mm-hmm. Can I just reinforce?
You would have to have a specific end goal, wouldn't you, for your GoFundMe? You would have to say what it is particularly for, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, Joe. Yeah.
Hang on, can Chris speak?
Yes.
Go on, Chris.
Yeah, I think it's really important for us to consider the GoFundMe because that's what Joyce knows about and is familiar with. But I reinforce what I said in my letter and what Lindy tapped on today, that there are government grants available for people like us, and Joyce did forward that email to us all. So in Stream C, there is up to $4 million available for relief for other community organisations. And I think that Zonta would come into that. I know that it's a very long application process, Lindy, but it's probably worth looking at, even though the whole thing is actually aimed to compensate for costs associated with events that have been cancelled.
No, Christine, that's right. But you can also apply for the profit that you would have made from that project. So we can apply for $3,500 for Bridge Day.
Yeah.
So Lindsay,
that's right. Yeah.
Lindsay, if our biggest fundraiser is the Melbourne Cup luncheon,
yes,
and you know, this is hypothetical, the year transpired, we get to post that event, when that event would have happened. Can you tell me what the time frame is for the application? It's open until what period of time? And is it a
15th of September. 15th of September.
Oh, okay, so that takes out the Melbourne Cup. Okay, right.
And Lindley, I would be more than happy to help you with that. If you do the numbers, I can write the stuff.
Okay, thank you, Jess.
Because we would be, excuse the language, but total assholes if we don't avail ourselves of that.
That's right, and it needs a couple of heads to get together to do it.
Yeah. We've done a lot for the community. Now the government can do something for one of their community organizations. That's my thinking.
That's right.
That's good.
Can Lily, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, I'll have a look at that with you. I've only downloaded a couple of pages so far, but I agree that it'd be worth trying for that money if it's available.
Yeah.
yes, good.
Yep.
And
I'm with that.
it's kind of like doing these Zoom calls. We've all learned how to do these Zoom calls. Viv is the best learner of all. She has done a MacGyver on every phone call and figured out how to participate. Now she's helping Chris participate, and what's the word? We have to try with this grant, the lottery grant, because that's duty of
So,
care.
Christine, you happy to come and do that with me?
What?
Christine,
Yes,
are you happy to come and do that with me?
yes, yes.
Okay,
That's something that is available and we should investigate. As I said in my email, yes.
Excellent.
we've just got 20 pages to fill in.
Yeah.
If you need copy written, writing and stuff, I'm happy to do that because I write like I talk. It never stops.
Okay. Right. You're on.
But good. Good. Oh, that makes me feel great. The GoFundMe thing is different because you have to have a charity registration, and that's a whole separate conversation. And I think it's safe to say, Pauline, that you and I can sidebar that and deal with that. But a friend of mine whose father passed away had a GoFundMe account because there weren't enough funds for a funeral. And she wanted $10,000 US and raised $28,000 US.
Yeah.
In 2 days.
Yes.
For the good cause.
Well, it's relative to what people support, isn't it?
Yes.
So what's important to one is not to the other. I'm just on the Community Care Yallinga and Dunsborough page. Like there's 1.2, so that's 10,200 members, 1,200 members of that page. So that's the sort of thing that I'm talking about in the community. And if we registered as the Zonda Club of Dunsborough as a member of that, Pardon?
I can do that when we get off this call.
So what I'm saying is, social media is a great opportunity for us to even identify ways in which the club might find service projects or individuals who are requiring assistance, but do it through a facilitated or an already existing, framework.
Right, and that also provides credence to our application to get charity registration so that we can do something beyond that on another site. Yeah. If you guys are happy with that, I'm happy to do that.
Yes.
Get off this call. It's very easy.
Yep, happy with that one.
Okay, so may I carry on to the next point?
Sure.
Right.
Yes. Please. Please do.
Chris?
Yes, please do.
Oh, thank you. Okay. All right. So guidance on the new board induction. Because everyone on this phone call is waiting for Pauline to be the president. That's a joke. And other business. We can do our induction, and I can't believe that I sound like George Jetson, but we can do it on a Zoom call. It doesn't have to be in person. Faith O'Brien does not have to come down, so we can do that as if it was a regular meeting on Monday, the 11th of May, and induct and welcome the new board.
Oh, okay.
The current board.
That's with the entire membership.
Right.
Okay.
If the current board agrees with that, so someone needs to move that we take a motion to have a vote.
Yes, happy to do that.
Thank you, Carrie.
Yep.
Second?
Thank you.
Second.
Joe, thank you.
Is that Viv?
Carrie motion.
Yep.
Joe
Oh,
second.
Kerry.
So,
So Joyce, just for clarification,
yeah,
the induction would happen on a Zoom call of those members who chose to participate by Zoom?
yes.
Or, okay, right. And for those who don't or can't attend by Zoom, there's the opportunity perhaps for them to pair or, go to the home of someone who is on a Zoom call.
Right.
So that's another opportunity for some fellowship, networking and engagement.
And look, I mean, by the 11th, it might be a case where we could go to Cave's house. I don't know. I mean, as of today, we can meet with 10 people or fewer. So I don't want to assume, because it makes an ass out of you and me. But we have an obligation to keep our business.
So the agreement is that if the current restrictions are in place for gatherings greater than 10 people, that we will do it by Zoom call.
Yes.
Yes. If that number is increased, then we would convene a regular meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
On the 11th of May.
Yep.
At which normal
That's
monthly
normal.
would be transacted
Mhm.
and the new board inducted.
Precisely.
Yep.
It's already
Very
happened
good.
in several clubs in District 23 that they've done their inductions on Zoom or Facebook calls.
The Bunbury had an entire meeting by Zoom the other day.
I know, with their entire membership. And
Correct.
I love everyone in the Club of Dunsborough, but I'd rather slit my wrists than try and moderate a call.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't do it. It'll be messy.
I've never lied. I've never lied. And Jesus, are you kidding me? No. Like just about managed.
I have another cigarette, Joyce.
My siblings. Like, no, but yeah. Forget about it. Okay. Glasses. Good. That's good. And because we held the vote for the AGM, we did the survey for International Women's Day. We've carried on business, and that's the sort of thing that is edifying, that keeps, members need to know that, yes, everything's chaotic outside, but at least certain things are going on. Okay. My next point was about committee chairs sitting on the upcoming board. And I know we've had this conversation, and I need someone to remind me of our prior direction. What are the, coming from the end of May onwards, are we expecting the committee chair to sit on the board or participate on board meetings?
Well, as your incoming president, I think that is an important opportunity to offer our committee chairs so that we get full and informed discussion at each board meeting rather than a lag, which we've experienced in the past.
Yep.
So when issues come for discussion, we can receive our information at that point rather than wait for another committee meeting and then another board meeting, and avoid those extensive time lags. So as incoming president, my recommendation is that we invite committee chairs to sit on the board as observers, and they won't have a vote, but their participation, I think, is really important.
Yeah, I think that's...
Oh, look, you waste so much time going backwards and forwards and getting people's opinions. And so little time achieving what we need to achieve. And I don't know about you, but I kind of love spending every day in my garden and sewing. And I'd love love being involved in Zonta, but I want to give my best effort to Zonta, and my best effort will be about efficiency of us all achieving some of the goals for our local, national and international communities.
Good.
And if that sounds very strong, then it's about us just economizing on how we spend our time.
Our time.
Because we can have endless discussion on achieving something and still not achieve it.
Yeah.
Now, Kieran, I've got you on full screen. I'm not sure, so I'm watching you. Your arms are crossed. That's better. I'm happy when you smile. Look, I'm happy to be challenged, but I don't want to be your leader and spend countless hours on discussion that doesn't take us anywhere.
Yeah.
It is futile.
Yeah.
And if we're going to attract new members, we need to be doing and involving them in things that we can achieve together. And I've met lots of people in our local community who said, I was a member of Zonta, but there were so many meetings and nothing was achieved. So these are professionals who were there and we lost them because we spent a lot of time talking and not doing.
Yeah. Which now,
or doing, not achieving. And I'm interested in the scorecard. I'm interested in what we can tick off.
KPIs. Everybody hates KPIs, but you need them.
Well, we have so many good people in our community, and Zonta's just one of this larger community. We have such opportunities for people who are already doing good things.
Yeah.
But they just get on social media and start something, and the conversation starts, and before you know it, you've got 4,000 people involved or 200 people involved.
Yeah, I agree. And this is another question I have for the entire board. We've discussed this and seem to be coming to some sort of agreement. Is this a question that I should now contact, because there are new, except for FNF, committee chairs. FNF, I think, is still choosing their committee chair. And say, just so you know, you have another obligation meeting-wise. Genuine
That
question.
would be fair.
It's people's time, so it's a very important,
Yes,
very genuine
yeah.
question.
So at the moment, FNF doesn't have a chair. So we have a Pram. Who's the Pram chair?
Jane, I think it's Jane. Is it Jane?
So
Jane.
Jane. Service is still Sue?
Sue.
Yeah.
Sue
Okay.
Flower.
Okay. And FNF. And it's a good chance that FNF will be one of the board members anyway. So it's only really Jane and Sue that would be impacted. And now that we're perfecting Zoom,
Well, yeah,
maybe
there
have
is
that opportunity for them to
that point. I mean, for example, Pram, we're having our meeting on Monday, the 4th of May at Jane's house. Because she's not as mobile as everybody else. So we're doing that, and we've decided to meet in person.
and service the meeting in person next week as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. So it's 2 people really that are involved, isn't it? Additional.
Well, yeah, until, I mean, FNF will, obviously, will choose, someone will nominate.
Someone.
Yeah.
Which there was huge reluctance on Friday. But that's okay.
Okay. All right. But yes, so this is important, and I need to put this out to let the members know. Effective after the end of May, committee chairs sit on the board. There's Switzerland, or call them the Vatican City. They don't have a vote, but yeah.
So they will be invited to sit on the board as non-voting members, unless we get clarification through our constitutional bylaws.
Yeah,
Yep.
but that is pretty much how it would be. If you're not a board member, but there is a reason for someone who isn't a board member to sit on the board, they have non-voting status.
Great, absolutely.
If I'm incorrect, I will tell you. Because let's face it, I'm wrong a lot. So
board members have actually been voted on for this year. So
Great.
they are the actual board members.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see even though the limit is not specified in the Constitution, it is a minimum of 2, but it doesn't have a maximum.
No.
But they haven't been voted in for this year for the chairs of the committees to come on board.
However, they can be invited observers, and a lot of organisations do that, don't they, Lindley?
Oh no, and we can
Yeah,
choose. They can be invited observers, or we can, as a club, vote and amend the bylaws.
Yeah.
I'm putting this out there.
You don't have to amend the bylaws, Joyce, because the bylaws say a minimum of 2 board members, but it doesn't have a maximum.
Yep, right.
So next year, if you want to include the chairs of committees as board members, you can do that. But for this year, it hasn't been done. There is a board of 5 directors that have been approved for this year.
Yeah.
How do other people feel about that?
So, but how do we invite the committee chairs?
Just invite them.
Mechanism.
Talk to them. You can have anyone you like to a board meeting at the invitation of the board.
Yeah.
At any time, as a general practice.
Yeah, because having worked on the Constitution revision for last year, I'd, again, rather slit my wrists than do anything like that again to try and amend the Constitution. Hasn't worked out for America. I'm sorry, Lindley, I interrupted you.
I think Christine wants to say something.
Yes, I think that's fine. Just do it. Invite the committee chairs to the board meeting as non-voting members.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
I added a last point, and then I'll shut up. Well, kind of. This entire question of this Bridge Day letter and canceling it, and whether or not the club should ask normal participants if they'd like to make some contribution. So there's 2 questions, and we have to decide, and it has to be done this week. It's called BAWA, like the great architect, the Bridge Association of Western Australia. We need to inform them, full stop. That's 1 letter. The other letter that would go out to who have historically been the participants in our Bridge Day, to whom we would be saying, if you are able to make a contribution less than, equal to, greater than, is literally in the ownership of Jane Molden, because it's her personal email list. So these are 2 very,
and at FNF, we discussed this at FNF, and the emails and the feedback that I've been getting is that we wouldn't be happy sending out that letter asking for a donation.
Yeah.
We're not asking for a donation, Viv. We're offering people the opportunity. So my point in my response was, I'm sitting at home, I'm not able to go out, but I really want to help my community, and I can give you $5 of what would be my my registration at a Bridge Day. Or I can give you $100 because I've saved so much money because I haven't been going out. So I've had lots of experiences where people have risen to the challenge of opportunity. And opportunity can be in personal service, or it can be in dollars. So I feel really strongly it's about opportunity. It's not us deciding whether or not someone can or cannot afford something, because we don't know that. And my biggest learning was when I was in retail, and the people in Bunbury that I knew had money weren't the people that spent the money. The people who spent the money were the workers who had a lot of cash. And it was the one lesson I learned in 1982. Do not judge by what you presume others are capable of affording.
Mm-hmm.
And the other example I'd like to share with you, that I've shared both with Jane in particular, is I started or was part of the student exchange program to Japan in 1995. And I visited the number of schools in order to promote the exchange program. And one of the school deputy principals said to me, 1,200 kids in the school, he said to me, people this side of the tracks cannot afford to send their children to Japan. So one of those children and her family fundraised every cent by doing, selling trailer loads of wood or having sausage sizzles at Bunnings. That young woman went on to become the Junior Citizen of the Year in Bunbury because she rose to the challenge of her own family circumstance that wasn't about having sufficient funds to pay for a trip to Japan. So I feel really, really strongly that we cannot deny people the opportunity to contribute to community just because we think we should ask them for money. So the way the letter gets written is really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
What do I contribute to? I contribute to things that say, this is the situation, your support would be welcome. And then you identify what the cause is. Now, someone might give you $10,000 because they're wondering what it is that they can give their money to because they don't have any family members. I mean, that's how philanthropy works.
That's a very good point.
I'm just really, really passionate about this. In actual fact, Kerry, your cousin would have been on, involved in that young woman and her actual presentation ceremony, But I just think if she had listened, or her school deputy principal and went, no, 1,200 kids, people this side can't send their kids to Japan, then he was denying every child in that school or every family the opportunity to at least think. And if I can bring it to my own example, I wanted to go to Japan. My parents had zero extra money. I'm the eldest of 5. My mother said to me, if you are selected to go to Japan on this Rotary Exchange program, we will find a way to make it happen. We found a way to make it happen. It wasn't my family's money, my direct family's money, and it changed my life irrevocably because my mother believed in the opportunity. She had 4 other kids at school. 4 at home, and she took in boarders. So I know what it's like to have no money, but I know what it's like also to say, you know what? I've got $5 and I really want that $5 to make a difference in someone's life. In the sermon, but I'm really passionate about offering opportunity for it.
Yeah.
And
I agree that the letter, so long as it's worded well, and that it should go out.
Yeah, because my concern has been, because I've been thinking about this for several days, it's a bit parochial to just assume that none of these people have any extra funds that they could donate.
They do.
And that puts us in a very judgmental light.
Correct.
Many won't. Many will. But to just assume that they haven't is
that they don't have the funds.
Right. Is at rude, and at worst dismissive and judgmental.
I've met millionaires who you would cross to the other side of the street because they look so shabby and so sus. So you don't know how much people have got by the way they present themselves. And when I was in retail, I had people who looked as though they were really wealthy and they had nothing because they were funding their lifestyle by debt.
It's a tough question, and any question about individuals and their relationship to their own money is always a tough question.
Give them the opportunity. It's all I say.
Yeah.
I've read the responses. I've seen the responses from the F&F committee, and we have financial obligations. This isn't a tea dance. These are actually important obligations. So.
Well, I would like to see the letter rewritten because I found it too straight. The letter that Jane has written is asking for the $45. I think it could be much better written, being a lot more diplomatic and just asked nicely that tell them the situation that we're in, that we've had to cancel our fundraising day.
Yeah.
But if anybody could help us towards our projects, we would be very grateful.
Yeah.
It is about the intent, and it is about the words. And many charities are writing letters every day. I know what comes through your letterbox, but there's a very skillful use of words that give you the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes, and Chris would like to say something.
Yeah, Chris.
Because I know that you did canvass all the FNF members.
Yep.
What were the final numbers on those that did not want a begging letter to go out and those that approved it?
I think there was only 2 that said we shouldn't be doing it, sending the letter. A couple like me, I sort of felt that if it was worded better, it would be okay. Ask nicely, not demand.
I thought the numbers were the ones that didn't want the letter to go out were Marie, Lorna, Sharon, Jan, and myself.
Okay, I had it as Jan and Marie. Definitely not.
I'm sorry, Chris, could
So
you?
you've got 5.
So, excuse me, could you just repeat that list again? I didn't hear that. I beg your pardon.
Have you heard from Sharon House? I thought it was Marie, myself, Jan Collis. Lorna didn't think the letter should go out, did she? And
I'm
Sharon.
not too sure. And Sharon House.
Yeah.
Marie.
I just think we have to notify them and hope that they will support us in the future. And if they interpret that as I will give you some money now, then that's fine. I agree with you. I think the wording was far too strong in the letter that Jane.
Oh yes, it was.
Had outlined.
I'd put it through the shredder and say no if I received that letter, or delete.
So let's rise above what the first letter was, because we know that we need to send one that gives us an opportunity to invite people to support the Zonda cause and community projects, so that we draft up a letter that provides the opportunity. So you saw my response with the pros and cons. It's about engagement with that bridge community. So it's not about a cancelled event, it's about a postponed event, because we know that you have any day. Pardon? So we know that you can have any Saturday. Is that right, Joyce?
That's right.
Yeah. So in the bridge calendar. So let's not just close the door. Let's just keep our opportunities open. Keep our language really positive. Life will go on.
Yeah, it always does.
Engage with the people who were expecting a bridge day in June. We may still have a bridge day in June. We don't know that yet.
No.
So let's
apparently the bridge
postponement.
The Bridge Association have no bridge during the month of June.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So therefore, we might have one in July.
It's absolutely against World Health recommendations.
Sorry, say that again, Chris, please.
It's absolutely against World Health recommendations to put 100 people in close contact sharing potentially infected items.
Yeah, I mean, it's
we would only do that when all of the appropriate health and government advice is in place. We're not going to go in contravention of anything, but we just need to keep
I know. So it's
open.
So it is a postponement, and we do hope that the bridge community will support us in our future endeavours.
Yeah, Chris,
Yep.
Isn't that what we're saying? I mean, it's taken us a long time, but isn't that what we're saying?
Yeah, it's basically what we're saying. The notion that we have to cancel the bridge day, terribly sorry. you know, it will be taken up again when it is doable. In the meantime.
And if they all choose to write us a check in the next month, well, that's wonderful. I mean, we would certainly accept it.
Right.
So can I propose that Joyce and I draft up a letter?
Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
Yes. Who's that speaking?
And then my question to the board is, do you wish to see that draft before it is sent? Or do you trust I to come up with a letter that is reflective of this quite extended discussion, that keeps the communication with the people who contribute by participating and assisting us raise the funds for our community projects?
I'm sure you and Joyce will do that admirably.
Thank you, Jo. I mean, I just find it frustrating that we spend so much time discussing.
I think it's reasonable for us to draft a letter saying it's postponed. It will happen at some point later when it works with the entire new timescape and BAWA, the Bridge Association of WA's calendar. In the meantime, if you are happy to, great, make some sort of contribution. Look, there's a charity in the United States called the March of Dimes because kids were giving 10-cent pieces. So the point is, it's doable, and it's doable in a diplomatic and fair way without guilting anyone into it. And we've had a lot of discussion about this, and I have to tell you guys, this reminds me when I first joined Zonta, and there was like 8 months of discussion about whether a meeting would start at 5:30 or 6. It is now time to take action and actually do something.
Yeah. Do it. Just do it.
Don't worry, guys. I won't be president a month from now, so you don't have to listen to me after that.
But you will have to listen to me, and I'm really passionate about opportunity and collaboration.
A wasted opportunity is like squandered real estate. It makes me crazy. To waste an opportunity is foolhardy. And we're all comfortable and we're all happy, and that's fine. We are supporting causes locally and overseas for people who are not comfortable and who don't have the luxury of being foolhardy.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
No, I'd like to listen to Lindley. Lindley, please.
Can I just ask a question?
Okay.
Hello?
And
Go on, Chris.
I'm sorry, I'm having a lot of difficulty hearing. Who's going to draft the letter?
Joyce and Pauline.
Joyce and Pauline.
Right, so are we going to see the letter before it goes?
Yes.
In the interest of good governance or not?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Thank you, that would be fine. And I might have to hang up because I'm having a lot of trouble actually hearing you.
Oh, that's frustrating. I'm sorry. I wish I could make this work. But...
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Lindley.
Bye, Chris.
Lindley.
Yes.
Where are you? There.
Okay, Treasurer's report.
Yes.
Yep.
Admin account, $4,904.23. 14 members have paid. Fundraising account stays the same, $9,896.62, with no transactions this month. And we have not paid the international contribution at this point because I felt it was more appropriate to hang on to it at this stage, because our District 23 Treasurer said because of the exchange rate, there's no point paying it now because you're not going to get your dollar value for your contribution.
No, she's totally right.
And that's it from finance.
Correct.
So
Thank you.
Pardon, Lindley, could you just read both of those figures again for me, please?
Admin account, $4,904.23.
Yeah.
Fundraising, $9,896.62.
Okay. Yeah, and we have a president's meeting on the 16th of May, which Pauline, they're hoping that you can join as president-elect by a Zoom call. Hey, that's a really good outcome. Now I don't have to, you know, Pauline won't have to drive up to Perth every once in a while for a president's meeting. Jesus Christ, took ages. Yeah, and Zones International is understanding of exactly the logic you just described, Lindley, so thank you. So for right now, all bets are off. Does that translate? Like, yeah, no new bets. We're all done for right now.
All done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lindley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And for me, for finance and fundraising, well, there's not an awful lot to report, apart from the Bridge Day, and I think we've pretty much covered all of that.
Amen.
So that's about it. We're just waiting to find out whether we'll end up having a Melbourne Cup, or that we'll be definitely doing our garden party later in the year.
Yeah,
great.
And there's really nothing else.
I need to ask, may I ask?
Yes, yes.
Is there someone on F&F, or F2, as I like to call it, that you could assign the responsibility of looking into the Lottery West grants for nonprofits from using revenues because they can't hold fundraising events?
I think Lindley, isn't Lindley and Chris going to do it?
Okay, thank you. I just
Lindley's.
I need names attached to it.
Yeah, Lindley.
You guys
Lindley's back
feel
in the
lucky
room.
because next time it happens, I'm not chairing the meeting. Pauline is. You guys are lucky. You should be thankful.
And I won't talk so much.
I know. Are you kidding? I had a
So
dream.
that's right.
I had a
We love
dream
you.
3 nights ago that my granny, who died in 2004, was like, "Child, you need to stop talking so much."
Oh dear.
Anyway, I'm done. Oh, Pram. Pram.
Yeah, sure, Pram.
Pram is having its, we're having a meeting on Monday in person at Jane's house. We will be observing the, whatever, 1.5 meters.
4 square meters per person.
Yeah. Because she has a very large backyard. So otherwise there isn't, no, not anything of note, but yes, we're meeting and we're meeting in person. And I think that has been an uplifting idea to everybody on the committee, which is nice.
Joyce, could I just flag that Pram consider a different seating arrangement for the dinner meetings, please?
Absolutely.
So my observation in March was there's really incredibly bored faces sitting around with arms crossed. It's a very formal U-shaped meeting setup that does not invite friendly chatter and conversation. And it just feels really unfriendly to me. I'm a relatively new member, but I would like you please to add that to your agenda.
Okay. Yeah, because currently it's a U shape. Okay.
Yeah, which is fine for a formal board meeting, but not for once a month friendship.
More friendly. Okay. I mean, space wise.
Yeah, table.
I mean,
table set up different.
Yeah. Would you want to go like to something different, like tables of 6? I'm just thinking logistics. Logistics rule the world. I mean, you have to.
They do.
transport.
Probably have on average 20 people in attendance. Pretty easy.
Yeah.
5 tables of 4.
Right.
4 tables of 6. It just would be really nice to feel like we wanted to be in each other's company. It just doesn't feel friendly. I don't know how other new members feel. But
Yeah, I mean,
Kerry?
when I first joined, I remember looking at it and thinking, I can't remember the name of the movie, but Charlie Chaplin made a movie mocking the Nazis. And the main scene was a U-shaped table. I'm not calling us Nazis, calm down. But yeah, okay.
Righto. Service?
Don't blame me.
Service. Okay, we've got a meeting at Sue Flowers next Tuesday. So we're doing a face-to-face one. And I think some of the ladies have completed some breast cushions, exactly where they are and how they're getting delivered to Perth, I don't know. But that's about all that's happening with us at the moment.
Okay.
Kerry, can I suggest, if you're not already familiar, go onto the Southwest COVID-19 sewing page on Facebook. And that's something that arose out of one of the local GPs advising that there was a pretty significant need for, it started off with the scrub caps.
Oh, yeah.
And before too long, there was this great community of sewers who were making scrub caps. And so the website and the management of that is just really professional. So they provided the patterns available through that Facebook page. They provided, non-contact drop-off, which won't become a problem going forward. But it struck me that, Zonta as District 23, if they were to embrace that social media platform, we could have thousands of breast cushions that were all produced to a particular standard by non-Zontians who happily sit and do their sewing. And it's been really uplifting to read the comments from many people contributing. So it arose out of a need at the Bustleton Hospital. It then extended that they had sufficient supply that they supplied the Bunbury Regional Hospital. They've now extended to provision of those scrub caps, and then there was also a need for like carry bags for laundry. So there was all those hygiene issues around COVID. So they're now supplying hospitals right across the Southwest.
Yeah.
And the next step, because they had so many people making these scrub caps, about providing those to the hospitals in Perth. It's such an easy way for people who love sewing. So it's a whole other logistical exercise. And if Zonta District 23 embrace that model, there's a whole lot more women who'd feel a whole lot more comfortable after.
Interrupt here. Who's taking minutes now that Chris is gone? This is being recorded, so it'll be easy, and I can put it on YouTube.
I'll do it, but I'll do it in my matrix format, my normal way. Okay. So could I suggest that you have a look at that, Kerry?
Yeah. Okay then.
And then the other is, depending on how service feels about, well, it's not even depending on that. I think it becomes a bigger picture that we could perhaps then raise that at the President's meeting in May. And then Area 3 could consider, that perhaps being a model, and then it could become a recommendation to District 23.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you suggesting then that we join in with making the caps, etc., for the hospitals? Or you're saying for the sewers, once they've got over doing that, to help with the breast cushions?
No, not even that. I'm just saying that was COVID-19 sewers group Facebook page is so professionally set up and administered. That's a great model opportunity for the breast cushions to be, so you replicate the model.
Okay. Yeah.
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 And so then, you know, whether it's, you know, each area then could perhaps through District 23, you know, have some agreed drop off and pick up points. So, you know, I won't labour the point too much, but what happened on that is people had fabric and haberdashery they were happy to donate, but they didn't sew. So there was collection points for the fabric. You know, Spotlight got involved and they offered a discount on fabric for those the scrub caps and the bags. So again, it's about engagement. It's about achieving the end goal, which is the provision of breast cushions in this case. I have to say, Kerry, you're the big picture on my screen. So when I'm talking, I'm just talking to Kerry. So it just seems like there's so many easy ways for us to do so many things so much better.
Yep. Okay, then. I'll have a look.
Check it out. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Well, and candidly, I mean, there are a lot of people out there, and you know, the interwebs that are happy to help, and we've never harnessed that at all. So candidly, and I take the blame for this, shame on us. Shame on me, because it's fixable. We can get more help. We just have to stop being hard-headed, stubborn women and do the unthinkable and ask for some goddamned help.
It's not even help. It's just seeing what other people are doing and go, oh, that works.
People like the idea of zombie. They're like, oh, that sounds great. What can I do to help? And I'm like, well, you probably don't want to come to 3 meetings and decide if you want to like sacrifice X number of hours of your daily week or your week to become a member. So, okay, stop. We're all in the middle of a 5-week reset. Think differently. That's all.
So can I just give you the quick summary? What they achieved in 5 weeks was 1,164 scrub caps and 501 wash bags from someone, Dr. Louisa Case, who put up a post on Facebook saying that there was a desperate need for scrub caps at the Bustleton Hospital. 5 weeks later, you have nearly over 1,600 items that were created by people who love to sew.
Yeah.
Kerry, I'll screenshot this and send it to you, Kerry.
And also, I need to say, she was, before she quit her practice, my GP, very inspiring woman, very unpopular woman, and that's why she quit her practice. Because it was basically like the Monty Python skit. She's a witch, she's a witch.
So there's an opportunity for someone like Louisa to come and speak to us about how she achieved that. But also maybe she might like to join Zonta, because what she's just done
got a lot of
through one simple post on Facebook has been quite extraordinary.
Remarkable.
I'm going to send you all a screenshot of this so you can check it out for yourselves, okay?
All right. So I'm going to move on. I'm just going to carry on. Associations online. I'm claiming that that is just on hold for right now. We will deal with that. Organizational flow chart. Sorry, I never have ever invoked executive privilege, and I just did, and I'm about to again. Organizational flow charts. Again, I could have done this in the last 5 weeks, but no one was going to read all those Jane Austen novels again. The big one is 6.4, registered charity status.
Yep, we'll deal with it.
What we need, Pauline and I will work on that, because you can't do a GoFundMe account for a nonprofit organization unless you have a registered charity status. There are precisely 2 Zonta clubs in all of Australia who have registered charity status. So apparently the Freemason secret is continuing still now. And our new District 23 excuse me, Governor Sandra Burns. Yeah, that's what's happening to me now. It takes me 4 minutes to remember a word. I'm
But
really
you got there. You got there, Joyce. You got there.
That's
Someone was
it.
older than you.
Jesus H. Kennedy.
You just get used to it, Joyce.
Really? Because I just can't.
Yeah.
Like, God. You guys are lucky. I didn't even burst into tears. I have lost my cool because I forget certain words. Sandra Burns is very keen on this, and she knows that there are 2 other clubs. She will be a big help, and that could then therefore be a part of using something like GoFundMe, which I have now paid in probably $3,000 or $4,000 to American friends who are in hospital with COVID because they don't have health insurance. So I'm a big believer in GoFundMe. Yeah. Inventory list. Viv, I have like all that stuff. The tea morning.
Yes.
It's still in the trunk of my car, the boot of my car.
Oh, that's where it got to.
So that's all the update I have. That's it for me. I talk too much anyway. So.
Just on the inventory, this has been on the agenda for at least 6 months. It's not hard to write up a list of Zonta items that you have in your possession and then record it.
Yes, no, I've asked for the annual reports from each committee chair for the 8th of May. I didn't get guidance from District 23 or Area 3. I just extended it. So I've actually told Faith O'Brien that. She's like, okay. And that includes an inventory list.
Okay, thank you. That would be really great to have that a consolidated list.
Yeah, I agree. And lucky you people, I'm done. Next.
General business, can I go, please? Joyce?
What?
I have a general business item.
Please.
So I've been in discussion with Joyce and with Jane about electronic storage of the Zonta archives.
Yep.
I may have mentioned it at a previous board, well, I have mentioned it at a previous board meeting. I've emailed Jane in the course of this meeting for us to arrange for me to pick those up, take them to our office in Bunbury and get them scanned.
Fantastic.
So
very good.
That's why we have some spare capacity in our office for that to happen. And when that capacity perhaps is not there, then we'll look at something else. But I'd really like to start, the new Zonta leadership team off with a big tick about something that I think is really, really important for organisations. Now, remind me the year the club was chartered.
92?
1991.
1991. So next year is the, help me, 30th anniversary?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I suggest that
we don't need a new subcommittee, do we? Please.
I'm going to suggest that becomes a standing agenda item, the 30th anniversary commemoration, and the obvious one to do is to produce a history book that Jane had been working on.
Yes.
And you may or may not have seen the history book that the Zonta Club of Bunbury produced, excellent quality publication.
Yeah.
It was brilliant, yeah.
It was brilliant, and they've got some young millennials who had, some of the technical skills to pull that together. But essentially, it was one or two of the non-millennials that pulled that material together. So I'd like to think that our club, for its 30th anniversary in 2021, could produce something that was really significant, as a reference material, but we also look to establishing something that's got ongoing, like in perpetuity benefit for our community. I haven't got an idea of what that might be.
Okay.
But 4 years ago, I actually coordinated and very well wrote a history book for the sister city relationship between Bustleton and Sugito.
Yeah.
So, you know, with about 18 months planning, it takes that long for some people to write their contributions, but I'm on short timelines. So I'd really love us to be a big blue sky thinking group going forward.
In terms of production, that's easy. I've made I'll give you an example.
This is going to be good.
I know. She's got a big office.
I heard you.
Or it's your kitchen table. And now you can't find it, can you? Kiri,
And
you're
this
sitting on the lounge.
Worst.
Okay, all you will go into hell. I made a book like this, hardcover, paper cover, coffee table book.
Yep.
For the trip that Pete and I went on in Italy in September with my parents. And you do it on blurb.com. I will happily do
Blurb.com.
that.
There's so many of them available. Yep.
Yeah, and it's nothing.
So all you need is the content.
It's maybe 12, 13, 14 US dollars per book if it is fewer than, say, 40 pages. So I'm happy to do that because I know how to use the website.
Okay, that would be marvelous. So we could then, you know, a couple of us work with Jane to get the content. We can then, you know, invite people to purchase it. But the important thing is that we would send it to the Batty Library. So it then becomes an in perpetuity record of the Zonda Club of Dunsborough and its activities in the first 30 years.
What's the Batty Library?
The Batty Library is the state reference repository for all historical documentation in the state.
But what does Batty stand for? Because that's a
Well, it probably was somebody's name. It's spelled B-A-T-T-Y-E, Batty Library.
Okay, excuse me. All right, I understand.
Yeah. So what's really important is that when you publish those, you put your ISBNs on them.
Yeah.
So when someone goes in and does a search for Zonta, one would hope that the Zonta Club of Dunsborough would pop up in that search.
But not right now because I haven't updated the website since Jesus was born.
But Jesus is nearly a teenager now, and you're going to be having so much more time.
No, I'm going to ask for someone else to learn how to update the website because it's archaic. But okay.
All right. We'll find someone to do that. But so that's what I'm recommending as the first start. Now, the other thing that's not on this agenda is the Founders Lunch Subcommittee.
I beg your pardon?
The Founders Lunch Subcommittee is meeting on Wednesday. Some people are coming to my house in person.
Yeah.
Those who prefer to still do it by Zoom will participate by Zoom.
Okay.
So before then, I will circulate an event plan, and it will just be tick, 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 and everyone will know exactly what's required by when and by whom as we progress that.
Sorry, and that was an omission on my part. I apologize for that. If you want me to come along to run the Zoom thing, I can do that. Or if you don't want me to come along, because I'm used to that. Trust me, I get that a lot. No, Joyce, that's fine. Don't come. But
Joyce, I'll liaise with you separately because I just need to see who responded to me late this afternoon as to whether they wanted to attend by Zoom or in person.
Yeah.
So we've got Founders Lunch.
Zoom, but I'm not that great, so consider the source.
So that's a really important thing that was an action from the March meeting that we'll kick off this week. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it from me.
Anybody?
Kiri's pointing.
Yeah.
Kiri, I have to move somebody else to the center of the screen. You're taking up 1/3 of the entire screen. I'm sorry. Kiri, I'm sorry, everybody else.
Is that better?
There we are, Lindley. You're at the bottom. Kiri's. Hi, Joe.
Hi.
We can't see you.
I know. I actually asked my nephew, who is a millennial and horrible about it, stupid beard and drinks craft beers and stuff like that, how you change if you want to. And he said,
The format.
well, if you don't know, well, then I'm not going to tell you. And I was like, I changed your diapers because he, yeah.
Now, Kerry, whatever you did, you've now
That's why I
gone
don't have children.
7/8 screen.
I just turned my phone around the other way. That was all.
I
Now
love that you're on your phone. So much more down.
This is meeting closed at 6:55.
I don't even have the courage.
Yes, yes,
Oh, was that the
Lindley,
bit?
close. Okay, so is this my last board meeting with you ladies? Because will you have a new board next time?
Oh, stay
So
on.
goodbye.
No,
Bye,
stay
Joe.
on.
Bye.
See you very
Okay.
soon.
Don't
Bye,
be
Kerry.
I'm going to haunt
Bye,
you.
Jill.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I'll see you Tuesday.
Bye, Chris and
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. See you. Bye.
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 I think we're closed.
All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jesus.
Thanks, everyone.